Today I dance. Today I dance Louise Highland.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good afternoon again, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Folks, if you're anything like me, you have that one something that you really know you should not do, but that you absolutely love doing. For me, it's dancing. I really should not burden the world with my awful dance moves. You see, it looks a little something like this. Hey, hey. My kids call it when Mom packs the shelves. But nonetheless, despite the bad moves, you can pretty much find me every Saturday night packing my shelves. I've even been known to pack some serious shelves behind the wheel of my car. You know that, Bill. You pulled up next to me at the traffic light. I love watching my fellow drivers. They do one of two things. Either they look over at me, give me a little smile, occasionally a thumbs up, and then immediately get on the phone to call somebody and say, "You have no idea how crazy this woman is next to me." Or they pretend to ignore me and then immediately get on the phone to call somebody and say, "You have no idea how crazy this woman is next to me." But the truth is, I don't care. You see, I love music and I love dancing. But I didn't always feel that way. My dance moves are so bad, not unlike Elaine in Seinfeld. A friend of mine told me I don't even do that dance correctly. But I love it. However, up until a couple of years ago, I didn't dance. Fear debilitated me. Fear had me on the sidelines watching everybody else dancing, wondering how I would ever get brave enough to do that. Fear of humiliating and embarrassing my friends and family. Fear of humiliating myself, and frankly, a deep-rooted fear of landing flat on my back at one of my profoundly bad dance moves. And then something happened that changed all of that fear. You see, about 3 years ago, on a very quiet Saturday morning, I received a call from my sister to tell me my dad had died. He was only 61 years old. My dad was one of those profoundly magnificent men who spent his life in service of others. He designed electrical plants for all of the developing countries in Africa. He was the man who gave those developing countries the privilege of electricity. His greatest joy was watching children being able to study deep into the night with more than just a quickly descending candle. My dad's magnificent career choice meant that he died in the Congo alone. So I flew to South Africa, where his body was being flown into and where he was living. When I got there, I demanded to see my dad's body. I could not physically believe that this man, my dad, was dead. I walked up to the coffin, and there was, in fact, my dad. The right side of his face had the creeping grey that signifies decomposition, while the left side of his face was just my daddy taking a nap. There in this coffin was the man who once had taken my tiny 4-year-old feet, placed them on top of his, turned on our favourite Buddy Holly record, and then twirled me around the room as if I was the only girl in the entire world for him. I looked down and knew I would never dance with this man again. My dad had the most amazing sense of humour, but what I heard that day were the most serious words he has ever spoken. His big, beautiful, booming voice said, "Go home, baby girl. Go home and start dancing again. Dancing days are limited and you should never take one for granted." So I did. I came home and I started packing some serious shells. And then it happened. Recently, while on a cruise, I found out that the disco was hosting an 80s night. And my inner Madonna wanted to come out. So I went to the disco and started packing some serious shells. My kids showed up and packed shells alongside me. And then the cha-cha slide came on. And there's a portion in the cha-cha slide where it tells you to cha-cha real smooth. Except I've never done anything smoothly in my life before. My heel slipped out under me and I fell flat on my back. So while I was lying there flat on my back, trying to figure how I might graciously get up in the very tiny dress I was wearing, I also thought to myself, this is why I did not want to dance. My friends, my family are humiliated. I'm humiliated. This is why I should not dance. And then I heard it. That big, beautiful, booming voice said, "Really? This is enough to stop you dancing? This is all it takes?" My dad was right. Life is not about falling down. Life is about living. Life is about risking falling down, but doing those things that are important to you. Living harder, loving just a little stronger, waking up every morning and having the courage to go for that goal. Every time I think to myself, today is not the day, today is not the day for me to go out and achieve that great goal, I hear that big, beautiful, booming voice, and it says one simple thing. Today, my girl, today is all you have. Get up and go and dance.